everyone. This is Ethan Perry from Loyalty 360, welcoming you to another episode of Leaders in Customer Loyalty, Industry Perspectives. We are continuing this special series this week where you'll hear from some of the leading consultants, agencies, and technology providers across the customer loyalty ecosystem as they share their insights on one thought-provoking question. In this installment, we asked a simple forward-looking question. Where do you see customer loyalty going? Our industry leaders share thoughtful perspectives on how loyalty is evolving, from real-time, lifestyle-based engagement to the growing convergence of CRM and loyalty strategy. They explore why redemption remains central to emotional connection, how data can help brands deliver more meaningful experiences, and why elevating loyalty to the C-suite requires measurable KPIs tied directly to enterprise value. Across every response, one theme stands out. The future of loyalty isn't defined by points or promotions, but by relationships. Human connection, recognition, and emotional relevance that make loyalty truly matter.
I see loyalty programs becoming more straightforward and simpler for members to understand. The days when members didn't understand or couldn't figure out the value of their program, of the benefits, or like something that redeemed, I feel like those programs are long gone. Members now expect transparency, and they also expect when they receive an offer or personalized offers, it really is something that matters to them and at the right time. So members want value in their redemption, in their selection, in the categories that are interest to them, but at the same time, they want it real time. I mean, they want their loyalty programs to know, like, oh yeah, I'm interested in whatever XYZ is. My program should be giving me opportunities to redeem or participate in that program. And the other thing about that is programs now should really tie maybe even to a member's like lifestyle and what they're looking for from that program. Because like I said before, competition is so fierce out there that you really have to use the data in the appropriate way, so the members are, feel that you understand them, their lifestyle, and you're bringing value to the areas that they're looking for.
Yeah, I've got pretty divisive thoughts on this probably, but I think human connection is the place that this is going, and almost standing in as a proxy for some human connection. I think awards are pivotal in this, and I think that while the awards will change over time, that idea of redemption leading to connection and leading to feeling value through that loyalty program is not going to change anytime soon. I think it's just important that brands have some sort of a plan in place to be able to pivot to meet customers' expectations with the awards. But that redemption is so critical. And I think that, across a lot of the programs we operate, and certainly ones that we've included in our research recently, we're only seeing somewhere between 40 and 60% participation in that program. And so there's huge opportunity to attack these non-active customers that are maybe signed up for the program but not participating. And I think different types of awards and different types of experiential things are the way that you do that. And putting an emphasis on that human connection is the way that you really seal the deal. So more brands should probably be focused on that. And I think that if they can get that figured out for their specific brand, they'll really reap the benefits.
Well, one thing I definitely would like to see is for loyalty to get elevated to the C-suite. I don't think loyalty gets elevated to the C-suite unless we have tangible KPIs that the C-suite can use to measure the loyalty program and hold the loyalty program accountable to generating value for the enterprise. And so this notion of having KPIs that directly link what the loyalty program is doing to incremental value creation, I think is super critical. And I think it's an important trend we're going to see if we're going to try to push loyalty into the C-suite.
Yeah, I think, we were talking a little bit about convergence of CRM and loyalty a few seconds ago. And, before you started asking me some of these questions, you and I were talking about what does customer loyalty mean at its higher level and what is loyalty marketing and where does it play? I think the reality of it is loyalty marketing, it is absolutely something that can build upon customer loyalty. But the reality of it is, if you've got a poor product, loyalty marketing doesn't overcome a poor product. But you can have a good product that never makes it to market and never genders loyalty if you don't have the right tactics around it. So loyalty marketing there is to enhance and to augment, but that convergence of CRM and loyalty coming together, I think, is the critical component that people are starting to understand that if you want loyalty, it doesn't come through program. Loyalty comes through the full experience, and what does that mean? So it's so much broader, and I think that's why that convergence of CRM and loyalty, if they continue to compete the way they used to 10, 15 years ago, nobody wins. They've got to come together. And it's just the age old, we have different versions of it where people talk about, the discount war that's going to drive you to the bottom, and why would someone join the program if they've got, these promotions sitting outside and CRM's not listening to it because they're doing short-term results versus long-term. That doesn't work. The consumer doesn't care about short-term versus long-term. They care about a quality experience.
100%, yeah.
And that's going to be required to have loyalty.
It's really education, and I think when you're in an organization, it's being steadfast to do the right thing. You hit the nail on the head. There's programs that operate in isolation. This thing at the side of the table, or it's a separate group, and they're not tied into other areas of the organization, and they're doomed for failure. When you're looking at a customer, that's the customer of the brand. It shouldn't be tied to just a loyalty program. They really need to use all the data sets they have. We talk about terms like omni-channel, things like that. There's all these buzzwords out there, but at the end of the day, a successful loyalty program is using every aspect of every interaction with that customer and having a touch point there. And it doesn't have to be the status quo if I just give you some points. It can be the simplest things. But when you think about loyalty, it's that interaction with a customer. So I'd say, as experts in this industry, we have to hold strong with doing the right thing, not necessarily just looking for a contract or looking to sign a brand, but really pushing to make sure that brand has a successful strategy.
So, for ages, we've been measuring loyalty by number of points earned, purchases, redemptions, but really that's only scratching the surface. Where loyalty is really headed, and where I think it gets interesting, is understanding that emotional side of things, tapping into feelings of joy, nostalgia, excitement, and the connection that people have with the brand. So I really think we have to stop treating loyalty like a currency and more like a relationship. And that means, we have to find better ways to pick up emotional cues, how an experience makes people feel, the memories it creates, whether it lines up with what matters to them. So, using a smarter tech to read sentiment, telling stories that feel personal, design those experiences that are more emotional. And that's how we build loyalty, and that's how it sticks around, because it means something to somebody. So at the end of the day, it's not just about keeping customers, it's about being relevant, resonating, giving them things that matter to them. And that's how we can really elevate that whole loyalty conversation.
I think we got a little bit lost as an industry to focus on our tools, our technology, and choose me, right? The two things that you have to come armed to the conversation is, one, what are they trying to really solve for? If you can't talk at that level and you're just a tool, then you're out there selling saws and hammers and nails and things like that. You have to be able to sell a solution so that they can help solve a problem. The other thing is you got to be able to tell them how it's going to make them some money, right? If you can solve the problem but it's too expensive, then you're barking up the wrong tree. So if you don't come armed with the financial value prop and how it serves the customer in the end, then you're kind of out of luck. So that's what I would say is we need to be able to do a better job of doing it.
That concludes this edition of Leaders in Customer Loyalty Industry Perspectives. As you heard, customer loyalty continues to evolve, driven by personalization, emotional connection, and a deeper integration across marketing, data, and enterprise strategy. The experts agree. The brands that succeed will be those that treat loyalty not as a program, but as a relationship built on relevance and trust. Special thank you again this week to all of our contributors: Becky Hill from Points at Work, Mary Lucky from Moritz, Len Covello from Engage People, Max Kenkel from ITA Group, Wendy Culpepper from Kobe, and Len Yaguno from Kairos. To hear more insights like these, be sure to subscribe to Leaders in Customer Loyalty wherever you listen to podcasts, or watch your favorite episodes by following Loyalty 360's YouTube channel. And don't forget to visit loyalty360.org for the latest research, interviews, and on-demand webinars from across the loyalty industry. We'll see you next week.